a whiteout for Lucy Beckham's fans, and there are a lot of both. Certainly the advantage goes to Christ Church, but there are a lot of both fan bases in the house, and we love to see it for this nightcap at Irmo High School.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw in the previous games both 5A teams had decent things, but nothing like these fans. These fans have never been here before, and they're showing out, and they're going to be loud.
Christ Church coming up from Greenville, or coming down, I should say, from Greenville. Lucy Beckham coming up from Mount Pleasant, so both have traveled between an hour and a half to 2 hours to be here, and they intend to make it count. 2 minutes gone, looking for our first tally. Lucy Beckham trying to attack. It's Watson McLeod. Swings it back. Now a dump off down low. It's stolen away, and Christ Church Episcopal breaks out. So a defensive hold on both sides to start.
And that's what we want to see. These teams are going to feel each other out. They didn't play in the regular season. They don't have many, same teams that they play, so we just don't know what to expect from either of these teams. So they're just going to feel each other out and see how it goes.
Christ Church 14-4 on the season. They started the season 3-4, had a front-loaded schedule, and we'll talk about that. But they have won 11 in a row since that time. Lucy Beckham on the other side, almost perfect, 17-1 this year. And the Bengals are the top-ranked team in the state. Christ Church with an opportunity to get on the board first, but the shot just wide from Hudson McCarthy.
Yeah, and that's a mistake by Christ Church right there. They didn't have anybody backing up that shot, and Lucy Beckham was the closest when that ball went out. You're gonna have, in this type of game, you're going to have to back up those shots.
Second trip down the field now for Lucy Beckham. That is Ryan McCarthy controlling. No relation to Hudson on the Christ Church side, although there is a McCarthy connection within Christ Church. Hudson and Kevin brothers, and they're both at their respective position, the Upper State Players of the Year. The turning shot is saved. That is Nico Ludkowski in goal for Christ Church Episcopal, the lone senior on either of these teams' rosters.
Isn't that impressive? Not that you can only have one senior on one team, but we're having a championship game where there's one senior on the entire field.
It's pretty remarkable what these two programs have been able to do given that. I mean, Lucy Beckham's only in its second year as a school, let alone a team. And a chance to win it all here.
And we talked about this earlier. This is when, Lucy Beckham pulled from, that Wando school, that 5,000 student body section down there, and this is a 3A school that pulled from a 5A school, and the machine that is Wando. This is another team that pulled from it,
and they went and beat Wando at their field this season. It's the only time, in fact, that the Bengals have allowed double-digit goals, and it still didn't matter.
So what I like to see right there in that call is you could easily call it a trip, but it was so nonchalant as a trip, they just called a loose ball push and just let Christ Church keep the ball. So when you have a crew like this that's going to let them play, that's a smart thing, and I like seeing that.
State championship, don't want the referees to insert themselves into the narrative.
Absolutely.
It's a good-looking shot, but a better-looking save from Ryan Weiss, the Region Player of the Year, between the pipes for Lucy Beckham. So two very talented netminders matching wits tonight. Now attacking from the left, Jake Leland swings it behind the cage for Austin Constable. Also an all-region pick. One of 6 along with Weiss and compatriots for the Bengals. Leland, McLeod, McCarthy. Back to X. Constable moves it along.
Yeah, Lucy Beckham is running a 2-3-1, and they go in and out between that and a 1-4-1. It's just constant movement, a lot of ball movement.
Now on the drive, Ryan McCarthy bounces one just past the cage. Chopped at, now pursued, and the body of Corey Neri might have won the day for Christ Church.
It looks like they called illegal procedure on Lucy Beckham, and we're going to go Christchurch. I think Lucy Beckham was playing the ball out of bounds, and you just can't do that. Trying to save it, but still.
What a cutback. Ben Clayton completes the clear. Now enters the box. Clayton looking for space, shoots wide.
I like what we're seeing from both these teams. They're pushing, they're getting good shots. It's just the goalies in the defense is just playing a little bit better. 6 minutes into the game and we don't have a goal yet. It's
not quite what we saw in the 5A.
Ooh.
We're 20 goals in the first half of that one. Up top looking for Camden Poole. Didn't get there.
And we talked about this in the first game, in the 5A boys game, we didn't see transition back and forth. We saw both teams take the ball, and when they got an opportunity to score, and then in the second half we saw more transition. This is a very fast pace, going up and down. When you can't put the ball back in the net, you have to be able to push the ball up and down, and we're going to see these teams dip into their depth if they're going to be playing like this the rest of the game. Because after goals, you got a break. You walk to your position, you got a good 30 seconds to a minute break with it, and there's no break here. You're turning around and you're running.
Already played 7 minutes in this game. Equal opportunities on both ends. Webb Perry now with it for Beckham. Watson McLeod once more. Trotting in. Takes a shot high. He scores! And Lucy Beckham strikes first.
And that was just a simple clear out. All they did was just they got a one-on-one opportunity. Defense didn't push out far enough. They made one move, got his hands clear, and got the shot off.
So the first goal comes 7 minutes and 18 seconds in. And it's the 18th goal of the season for McLeod, at least as of the last update. I believe Lucy Beckham did not update its statistics
that was
going into the playoffs.
Clean face-off for Lucy Beckham. He got it up and ran and almost created a fast break by doing that. That's something to watch if this turns into a scoring fest. If Lucy Beckham can get the ball out that quickly and press, it's going to be fun to watch.
As we've discussed time and again today, the face-offs will often tell the story, particularly in state championship games. Though, as we said, if the start is any indication, the possession may not be the decider of this one. Beckham on the board once again as Grant Bushy swipes it back across from the far side, and it's 2-0.
So what we saw was that's the exact same play they scored on before, except instead of taking it himself, he made the cross-field pass to the open offensive player and was able to take an outside shot. So great play. So we know what type of offense Lucy Beckham is running. They're going to draw on that left side and try to kick it out. If the slide comes, they're going to kick it out. If not, they're going to take it themselves.
Bushy up to 31 goals, second on the team. And two quick ones for the Bengals. Separated by just 37 seconds.
Yeah, so we got a legal procedure on Christchurch there. He stuck his foot out after he lost on that face-off, and it's just a little trip, nothing major, but you just can't stick your foot out like that. This is the first year they have new rules for the face-off guys. So we saw in the earlier games a couple of legal procedures. What we're trying to do is get rid of what they call the motorcycle grip, is where you have your top hand facing upward like you're riding a bike. What we're doing is we turned that and we got it underhand now. So what we're trying to do is prevent these players from bulldogging each other and make it more of a safer play.
Never would have thought about that, but that makes sense.
Because if you're in the bulldog position or motorcycle grip, you can just take your shoulder and just plow into that other player's, shoulder and neck area, and that's just not safe. And they're just, lacrosse is one of those sports that everybody's still learning. Even
Constable into the side of the net.
They're always tweaking to be more player safety. We saw hits, that happens in the boys' games, and they're always tweaking to make it a safer sport so we can play more kids at a younger age and get more kids playing.
Timeout on the field. It'll be Christchurch ball when we come back. The Cavalier fans are fired up, but it's the Bengals who lead 2-0. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have a fun evening together here from Irmo High on the NFHS Network. You are watching live coverage of the South Carolina High School League Lacrosse Championships on the NFHS Network. NFHSnetwork.com/SCHSL is your destination for the most comprehensive coverage of South Carolina high school playoff action. Brett Williams and David Bates here with you tonight from W.C. Hawkins Stadium on the campus of Irmo High School. And even though across the way those bleachers you see are empty, the bleachers directly below us here in the press box are anything but. There are a ton of fans in the house tonight, by far the most we've seen for any of the games today. They have been loud and proud, and we're loving the energy for the state championship game.
And it comes down to both these teams, it's their first championship game, and it's just, I think that's just something that a little more important when you get to go to your first state championship game.
There were two Cavaliers perhaps awaiting that pass. Neither could get their stick to it, so it's out of bounds and back to Lucy Beckham, who has the 2-0 lead on goals from Watson McLeod and Grant Bushy. Fast-moving first quarter with a lot of saves, not a lot of goals, transition opportunities. Here's Bushy once again, one of the captains for the Bengals.
Yeah, the road for Lucy Beckham to get here was that there are 3 games in the playoffs. They had, we got a nice little turnover. So we got James Island. They beat James Island 18-2. They had the close game with Bishop England in the second round, 10-9, and then they pulled out against Oceanside 10-8 to get here to the state championship game.
Oh my. And that's 3 consecutive turnovers, now 2 by Christchurch as Ludkowski lost his footing attempting to make that pass, and I think that's why it caused it to be errant. Well, a chance now for Lucy Beckham as we hit the final 90 seconds of the first quarter.
And we talked about earlier with Lucy Beckham going for representing Charleston County and going for the sweep and winning the state championship in all 4 games.
It's been the Wando girls, the Wando boys, and the Bishop England girls so far. 2 of those teams you're used to hearing as state champions. Austin Constable, harassed by Thomas Sykes. Looking to get inside. Goodness gracious, what a feed and a goal indeed from Sykes.
It says something that they keep attacking that left side of that goal to get this defense offset. These coaches are prepared. They know where to attack. They know where the slide's going to be. So when you know where the slide is coming from, you know where to put the offensive player so you can get that easy shot right in front of the goal. 42 seconds left is plenty of time for a couple goals.
Have to apologize on this, folks. I read the wrong roster there on that end. So Constable certainly had the assist, but number 9 for Lucy Beckham is Ryan McCarthy, not Thomas Sykes, who plays for Christchurch. So my apologies for that. So McCarthy picks up the goal with 42 seconds to go in the opening quarter. And that is McCarthy's 29th on the season, moving him into sole possession of third place in that category.
Looks like there's a timeout. I was just waiting for the refs to confirm it, but yeah, we're going to have a timeout. And as they do a timeout, they're going to do a quick stick check from the ref's point of view.
I believe each team down to one timeout now in the first half. Today's event is available to download. Just click the digital copy button under the event video player to download a digital copy of the event right to your computer. So again, Lucy Beckham in just its second year as a program, they went 12-3 a year ago right out of the gate, and then 17-1 this year, and have to give a major shout out to their coaching staff for being able to do that. It starts with the head man, Parker Farragon, and then he has, by my money, probably the best, most decorated assistant coaching staff I have ever seen in any sport at the high school level. I mean, these are bona fide stars that he has on his team. Barney Ehrman, who was a first-time All-ECAC selection at Georgetown. He played in the Major League Lacrosse for a while with the Chesapeake Bayhawks. Jason Jeffries, 15-year head coach in the D.C. area. Jamie Peluso, a Southern Conference champion at High Point, led the nation in face-off wins in college. You got a national goalkeeper of the year at the D2 level in Vincent Fredericks, and a 2-time Division II national champion at Limestone College in Ryan Mentnick. How's that for a staff?
How's that fair?
Seriously.
I guess when you live in Charleston and all these imports from out of state come down and they want to live somewhere nice, and they find out you have lacrosse, it's like, hey, we need coaches, and they're like, yeah, let's get together, guys.
Yeah, exactly. That just an all-star cast.
Wow, that says a lot on how they're here in just 1 year and 2 years.
And they want to make it 4-0 going into the first quarter break.
So I didn't notice, but there's a penalty on Christchurch. Christchurch is playing man down right now. Number 45 is sitting in the box. I'm sorry we missed that. All right, so what we're going to have here real quick is there was a possession during a penalty, and anytime that happens, there's no face-off going into the next quarter. So when we come back, there will be no face-off.
And it'll stay Beckham man up for a short time. So we'll step aside. Lucy Beckham shutting out Christchurch Episcopal through the first quarter. 12 minutes in the books and a whole lot more on tap. So stick around. You are watching the 2022 South Carolina High School League State Lacrosse Championships on the NFHS Network.
Yep. So what they just called is they called push with possession on Lucy Beckham. So when that happens, the ball has to go into the net first before the player lands in the crease. So the player was pushed, the ball bounced, and then rolled into the player was in the crease at the time. So they got together, they came in, they all agreed that's what happened. So no goal. It's still going to stay Christchurch. They're going to be a man up right here.
Appreciate you sorting that one out. A whole lot going on that play, and Jake
Absolutely.
Good is up and walking off under his own power. Great to see that. Jake Good, fourth on this team in goals. He had 4 the other night in Christchurch's semifinal victory over AC Flora. And let's see if the Cavaliers can find the back of the nets. Now man up for the first time tonight.
So as a coach, I mean, obviously you would prefer to have the goal, but I think he understands that is the correct call. They're in a man-up position, so let's see if they could take this opportunity to score.
They'll start behind the net with Jack Henry Roy. Works it out to Good, right back into the game. Kevin McCarthy, now back and forth. To the left side, underhanded rip. Jake Good does not appear any the worse for wear. And Christchurch is on the board.
We like to joke that the ball never lies. So the goal was taken away, and Christchurch felt they should have kept it, and they came out with their man-up opportunity and took advantage and scored.
Jake Good fires up the Cavalier fans. And now back up at even strength as Christchurch cashes in man up. Again, 11 straight victories coming into the night for the Cavaliers. Their last loss against Porter Goud on March 19th. As Lucy Beckham wins this face-off. And the Bengals bring it forward. Again, they are 17-1 on the season. And their only loss was to a visiting team on their spring break trip from New Jersey, and that was in overtime.
Yeah, being able to take some of those Northeast schools to overtime is impressive within itself. But you don't know the mentality when these teams come down for spring break. They probably thought, let's take on a South Carolina team. We'll hit at the beach. And next thing you know, you're in an overtime game with, a team that made it to the state finals.
Yeah, if you're going to do that, you better pick the right team, and Lucy Beckham wasn't it. Bengals have won twice in overtime this year. They have 4 one-goal victories to their credit overall. Here's Austin Constable, comfortable at X. Now along to Watson McLeod, who has 1 goal in this game. McLeod dishes the turnaround, blocked.
Good defense. Got to get that ground ball, though. Yep, there he goes. 45.
Corey Neri with the defense. Colin Williams with the ground ball.
The
but the turnover, back and forth they go.
The goalie.
And the Bengals make them pay.
Yeah, excellent play on Lucy Beckham, but that was just not a smart play on the defense right there. You see the goalie, and it is in your instinct to get the ball to the goalie because they see the whole field a lot better, but he's got to be aware of his surroundings and know where the Lucy Beckham players are.
Leland with his 29th goal of the season as of last update. Took a little bit of the wind out of the sails of Christchurch after they had seized some momentum back. And now Lucy Beckham trying to pile on. Instead of the break, they'll retreat. Connor Coombs hands it along, then comes off with that long pole. Leland almost outfoxed himself. Constable. The head fake.
Yeah, this is the ISO. You want to take advantage of those short sticks.
That was McCarthy. This is Constable.
Good poke checks on defense. Good defense.
Grant Bushy spins in. Opportunity. Leland couldn't corral near side.
Yeah, they got obviously crease violation, and it's going to be Christchurch ball. Bad pass.
The ground ball still wonderfully scooped by Kevin McCarthy.
So in the boys' game, when you have clears, anytime change of possession on the defensive side, you have 20 seconds to get across midfield. Once you cross midfield with possession, you have 10 seconds to get it inside that box. Or it becomes illegal procedure and we're going to go the other, or failure to advance and we're going to go the other way.
They're in the box now. Jack Henry Roy, the dish, that hit the metal.
Yeah, not much of an angle on that shot. I didn't see what the call was.
Quickly adjudicated. Lucy Beckham takes it back.
That ref is in my blind spot.
A little bit the way we're situated up here. Someone lost a glove. That would be Charlie Brookseau of the Bengals.
They just stopped the play, get the player off the field that had equipment came off. And so there's two things. There's playing with illegal procedure, which is playing without your equipment. But if your equipment comes off in the middle of the play, like that play, the defender hit him, his glove came off, you stop and maintain possession. If the glove came off when no one's playing you're playing without your equipment, that changes possession.
Cloud trying to penetrate. Now Leland. Another solid job defensively by the Cavaliers.
But good riding. They're all over them.
Leland doing it both ways. Dangerous pass. Ludkowski there. Ball is bouncing kind of willy-nilly on the Christchurch side of the field. Now Lucy Beckham takes it back. Grant Bushy along to McLeod. Leland looking to wind. Did not let it loose. Christchurch has not been as clean as I think we were expecting tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been rusty, probably nervous. It could be a lot of things, but still a long game. Maybe they come out second half, the kids get everything in rolling. And what we've seen, tale of two halves. In the first game, 5A, Nation 4 came out playing, ran out of energy. So
McLeod with a blast. It was saved. Ooh. Now a flag up. Who's got the ball? Still loose. Who comes away with this?
So we're going to have a penalty, it looks like, on Lucy Beckham. Nope. The reason why I thought Lucy Beckham, because if there's a flag down, you let the play continue until a change of possession. So, okay, yeah,
I think it
like
is still Lucy. I wasn't sure either because it didn't seem like anybody had possession.
Right.
So I guess they were waiting to see who actually got it before they stopped it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was on Lucy Beckham. They called a slash. Anytime there's a personal foul like that, it is a free clear, so that's not what it is. If it was a technical, they would have picked up the ball where it was and cleared it from there, but personal fouls is automatically free clear.
So a chance now for Christchurch Episcopal. Man up. They cashed in the first time they had this advantage as they trail by 3, roughly the midpoint of the second quarter. Moving it in a hurry. The wind, the shot, and the score.
All right.
Hudson McCarthy buries it. McCarthy with 6 goals in the semifinal. He's got his first tonight.
Yeah, it was actually it was great moving the ball around. There's a gentleman that is from the New Jersey area.
We appreciate him tuning in. Christchurch wanted that ball badly. And Jay Lusk perhaps got too eager. Took his head up before he scooped it, and now it's Lucy Beckham with it going the other way. Garrett Coombs hands it off and retreats from one captain to another. Here's Evan Johnson. Johnson, Coombs, and Grant Bushy the three captains of this Bengal squad.
Starting to hear the crowd get into it, which is always fun.
Ryan McCarthy bounces it through Ludkowski.
What a bounce. That goalie, he was in perfect form. He dropped down and had it. That ball just bounced right over his head. That's just great placement on Lucy Beckham.
The all-region Ryan McCarthy has 2 goals tonight. And his team leads by 3 once again.
Got a legal procedure on Lucy Beckham, and it's going to be Christchurch ball. And like we talked about in the first game, these players are expected to know what to do. These refs are not going to tell them to move. They're not going to tell them if they're not set up properly. Just illegal procedure going the other way.
Ben Clayton with the restart for the Cavaliers.
Earlier we went over what Lucy Beckham did in the playoffs to get here. This is what Christchurch did. They beat a Carter.
Shot scores! Jake Good has his second.
And this is what we've been wanting to see, is how these teams answer after each goal. You know, Christchurch scored, Lucy Beckham answered, and then within less than 20 seconds, they just came back and answered their own goal.
And the plot thickens here in Irmo. You were saying about Christchurch's road.
Yeah, they had 3 games. Carter Ridge out of Fort Mill, they won 21-0. They beat Greenville in the second round 17-6, and then they beat runner-up state championship last year from AC Flora 19-5. So tell of 2 different roads here. You know, Lucy Beckham was challenged, played a lot of close games, while Christchurch just beat up on some teams.
Well, Christchurch's last 4 wins have come by a combined margin of 60.
Oh, wow.
So they are getting better as this season's gone on.
And that's what we saw some of the players. We've seen that as they get comfortable, they're getting comfortable and they get better as the game goes on.
Today's game is also available for all subscribers via the NFHS Network Live mobile app for Apple and Android devices. Download the app from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store today to start watching live games wherever you are. Couple of stick checks on this timeout.
And what they're looking for is they're looking for deep pockets, pinched heads, and you know the length of the stick. If the stick is cut too short, that's too much of an advantage. And same thing with the deep pocket. If the pocket gets too deep, it's almost impossible to get the ball out. So that's why they do random stick checks. And compared to the girls, they do theirs at the very beginning and get it over with. The boys have to do it throughout the game because they don't want to do it at the beginning and then it changes. It's a real issue if it rains. You know, if it rains, these sticks that are barely legal, you know, once they get wet, the mesh,
right,
you know, in and out, it becomes very illegal.
And what's the penalty for something like that mid-game?
Yeah, so all penalties, all illegal checks or stick checks are all 2 minutes non-releasable.
Okay.
So that's a big deal. We see how easy it is to score in 30 seconds. So we've had 3 goals in the last 2 minutes alone.
Right.
So if it's a 2 minute illegal a stick, you should put your team at a huge disadvantage. So it's very important that players maintain their sticks in a manner.
So you have to tighten up the strings then when you anticipate inclement weather for that reason?
Yeah. A good coach will tell the kids go wet the stick and see what happens and see where it is and then just tighten them where they need to. But there's shooting strings, a lot of things go into play that you look for that that can create an unfair advantage for the offensive player.
So Lucy Beckham ball leading 5-3. Final 4:40 to go in this first half. Between these 2 first-time state championship contenders. Webb Perry. Trying to get a step on his defender, can't
Double
do
team.
so.
Yep.
Harris Clark provided the extra pressure.
Again, they're going to attack the short stick on defense. And number 19 in back-to-back runs have played very well.
Near side, Bushy.
Ooh, they caught that deep hole sleeping.
Shot from Perry just off the mark.
While team defense is important, you got to. He got caught ball watching, and that offensive player just cut right behind him.
Austin Constable hurrying from behind, dishes it off to Bushy. Up top for McCarthy. Responsible for 2 goals tonight.
We're going to do all ISO again against number 19 on defense. You see all of them on one side. They're going to take them behind. The reason why you take them behind is a lot of middies don't practice back there very often playing defense. It's not a comfort spot for them.
That's Kevin McCarthy, who leads this team in assists. Big-time offensive threat for the Cavaliers. On a round, getting a chance. Missing high. That's Austin Constable. Good save on the move, McCarthy.
Well, they brought
Back
a double
inside.
team. They brought a double team quick. It's just a good offense versus good defense right in this possession.
McLeod working on Jordan. In this Class 4.
better opportunity we have of keeping them focused. And again, this pandemic has really created some challenges for us, but I think a lot of great things will come out of that.
Absolutely. I think it certainly opened our eyes to innovations to possibly pursue. And I was talking about this with some of your colleagues earlier, that point of added attention
Going to be 2 men up, too.
24 minutes down, 24 minutes to go as we bring you the second half of the Class 4A Boys SCHSL Lacrosse State Championship. And Christchurch Episcopal, who trails by 2, has 2 extra men on the field for 25 seconds to open this third quarter. Let's see if the Cavaliers can take advantage. Alongside David Bates, I'm Brett Williams. Glad to have you with us here tonight from Irmo High School.
And like we said at the end of the half, anytime there's a time-serving penalty, whoever maintains possession, offense or defense, will maintain possession throughout the break.
Thomas Clark took the shot, but a big save in net for Ryan Weiss, the Region Player of the Year. He gets it cleared. One man out of the box for Lucy Beckham and the other to follow, and not that long from now.
Yeah, they just called a loose ball push on Christchurch and made that possession a little bit easier to get.
And so Lucy Beckham weathers a critical early second half storm. And certainly Joe Cummings' decision to have the team hold, to your point, David, the right call, but it did not pay off.
And it just gives credit to Lucy Beckham's defense. They were prepared. You gave them time at halftime to be like, hey, we're going to come out. We're going to be man down or 2 man down for 25 seconds. This is what we want to do. And it could be a little bit different if they didn't have that extra halftime to break it down. And, maybe Christchurch was able to capitalize on it.
And that tremendous coaching staff, certainly the ones to get everybody in line. So Lucy Beckham going to work here. 90 seconds gone in the third quarter. Leading by a pair. Austin Constable bringing it out. Watson McLeod opened the scoring tonight. Flips to the middle. Got deflected by Harris Clark. And Christchurch wins it.
Yeah, that was a little questionable call on Lucy Beckham there. I didn't see that player open like he thought he did.
Colin Williams with a hot bouncer.
You got to love a D-pole that wants to run down and score.
Absolutely.
If he's going 70 yards down the field, the odds of him passing it off isn't high.
Talk about a moment that would have fired up the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Cavaliers possess it. Chance to run a more orthodox offensive set. Kevin McCarthy. Midfielder of the year in the region. Sets up, double teamed. Good pass to get it free. Jack Henry Roy.
You got to keep moving that ball. You got to keep moving, get that defense off balance.
Camden Poole. Roy once again. Has a step. Lost it. Now back around. McCarthy.
Moving the ball.
Dodging. Whips it.
Good save.
And it's saved.
Save.
Been a few from Ryan Weiss. Seen some high-quality saves on both ends tonight.
Good defense, good goalie play. Both teams taking their punches.
Now on the other end, Ryan McCarthy. Jake Leland, Watson McLeod.
Lucy Beckham's in a 2-3-1.
To his knees, couldn't field the bounce pass. Good Constable. Taken away by Colin Williams. That same.
Oh,
Christchurch having all kinds of trouble getting this out.
They've had trouble tonight, just clearing that ball. They've had trouble. And give Lucy Beckham their time, their due. They've been making it difficult for them. We had a legal procedure. So once you have 20 seconds, once you change possession, you got 20 seconds to get it across midfield. And Christchurch, couldn't do it unsuccessfully.
So the ride wins again for Lucy Beckham.
And I feel like that's turning into the difference in this game is when Lucy Beckham gets the ball, they can clear the ball more successfully and giving them an extra opportunity to score, while Christchurch is struggling there.
Constable trying to work through a pair of defenders with a little help from Bushy. Constable nearly lost his footing, now has space, shoots low, and I don't think that got all the way through. There's also a flag on the play.
Late flag. That came late. It looks like they're calling a cross check on 5-0. Be a cross check 1 minute. Just because it's late doesn't mean it's wrong.
Fair enough. So Corey Neri off as Lucy Beckham goes man up.
There's been times where I went to grab my flag to throw it and I miss, and my hand just went up with no flag, and then and then I had to, do it again, and they're like, "What's with the late flag, Coach? I missed the first time." It happens, man.
And just whiffed on the flag. Webb Perry with the give. McCarthy. McLeod. Constable.
I think Christchurch really needs a good stop right here.
Ryan McCarthy thought about that shot. So too did Bushy, who takes it from the far side. That's Perry. Backed up by Constable.
We still got a lot of game, but the way this has been playing out, that the opportunities to score are low for both teams. They just ain't. So this isn't a high-scoring affair that we've seen in games today. So every goal matters. And
switching of positions. McCarthy, near side McLeod, right back to him. Not a lot of great shooting lanes here. Good defense by Christchurch. Now the shot. Same angle as before. And the same results.
Yep. They killed that man up advantage, so it's all even now,
Christchurch fans waving their blue and white pom-poms. Couple towels there as well. Lucy Beckham scored the first 3 goals of the game, all in the first quarter. Christchurch had the 3-2 advantage in the second. We've yet to see a goal in the second half. Scooped up by McLeod. And then the pass is missed.
These are the opportunities. We need Christchurch to see if they can clear the ball. They have not done that very well today, which has led to 1 or 2 easy goals for Lucy Beckham.
And they can't clear it on one pass. Oh, my goodness. Colin Williams just skied it. And now Lucy Beckham trying to take advantage. Here's Grant Bushy. Working his way through. Sends it in lefty. Constable always there behind the cage. McCarthy up top for McLeod. Right then left. To the left side. Perry lets it go and bounces it home.
That's the second bouncer we've seen tonight. So the scouting report on Christchurch is that goalie struggles with bounce shots. And Lucy Beckham's got the coaching staff that would know that for obvious reasons. And, that's another good bouncer from outside, too.
Webb Perry just kept wailing away from that angle. He finally got one home.
And it started because Christchurch could not clear the ball. They stopped them. They had the ball, and they turned it over.
That's really been the story of the game, and it's not what we thought it would be.
Yeah, that's really the big difference. I think it might be tied or within a 1-goal game if Christchurch don't drop these, clears. They had that bad pick where the goal got picked off when thrown to the goalie. It led to a very easy goal. And then the last one, unsuccessful clear. Got a Lucy Beckham player that's injured and trying to get off the field.
That's Flynn Wilson, their Fogo.
Just for the viewers at home, a Fogo is a face-off, get-off guy. All he does is he comes on and does face-offs, and he runs off the field a good part of the time. So, face-off, get-off.
It's crazy how what started as a slang term eventually turned into almost an official position name.
Absolutely.
Bouncer from Perry the other way, and now he's hurt.
It's one of the things about being a specialist. If you're an elite Fogo guy, you can go to college just on that one position. You don't need to be an excellent shooter, ball carrier, or anything. If you can do that one thing, get it around that 70-80%, you're going to go places.
Turns out Perry was not actually hurt, thankfully. He just came out of his shoe.
And that's a big difference, because if he was hurt and you have to stop the play, you have to come off the field. But if his equipment comes off, stop the play, let him fix it, and he could stay in the game.
So he remains in. Lucy Beckham retains the ball. Constable now finds Perry. Will he get a shot from the other way? No. 3.5 to go in the third. And there is a flag.
Another.
Oh. I think both were the right call. That second one a little bit more blatantly so.
Yeah, the first one looked like just a trip or a push with possession. We'll see what they call. That second one's going to be a little more. We're going to have a conversation and figure out what it is. All three officials have gotten together, and they're just sorting it out with the numbers and the calls.
Now it's really crunch time for the Christchurch defense. Again, with the way this game is being played, you feel like if Lucy Beckham can put one home here.
Yeah, because they're just starting to pull away very little. They're going to call illegal contact to the head. Or that's what I think they're explaining to the official is that player's head was down. Illegal body check, 2 minutes, non-releasable.
Major opportunity for the Bengals as they and their fans and their coaches clap it up.
The other penalty was a hold, which is a 30-second technical. So they're going to be 2-man down for 30 seconds and then 1-man down for another minute 30 non-releasable. And we talked about, the way this game goes is if you get one goal, you score again, and being man down, now you're a man down for 130. We'll see how aggressive Lucy Beckham's going to be right here. Because while it is still close, this is not a high-scoring affair, so every goal matters.
Grant Bushy, the chance, Constable near side. Up in front, McCarthy with a blast that misses wide. They'll bring it back in, approaching the final 3 minutes of the third quarter. McLeod, McCarthy again, winds up, dishes it out. Perry further along. Bushy, Constable, near side McLeod, fires, scores!
Those bouncers, that's his third bouncer that he's given up. And bouncers are hard. I mean, when you take that far out and you're anticipating to go one direction, and it could easily bounce and go the other way. Again, here's a man-up opportunity being on face-off. So I'm assuming 30 seconds already went by, but if not, that other penalty would have been released by now or would be released after that goal.
Absolutely critical face-off here. And it's won by Lucy Beckham. Bengals still man up for a little bit here. This would be a time I wouldn't be surprised to see them hang on. That was McLeod's second tally of the night. Thought about letting it go again. Now Perry does, and it's saved by Ludkowski. First things first, the Cavaliers need to clear. Stick on the ground. Ball is not, but that clock is ticking. 12 minutes of the Class 4A boys state championship game. Big face-off win by Christchurch Episcopal. Cavaliers have scored 3 goals in this game, all in the second quarter, shut out in the first and the third, trying to change it here. Getting it up to Finch Vergnol. We haven't called his name yet tonight. He decides to send it back to Jack Henry Roy and allow the Cavaliers offense to set up.
Yeah, we didn't know what to expect in this game, and this game has been lived up to what we wanted to see. These kids have been physical. Both teams, we got a close game. 3 goals is nothing. 4 goals is nothing for Christchurch to get back in this. And if it starts here, then we're down to 3. And go, like you said earlier in the last quarter, goals come in bunches at times.
Working his way in, Kevin McCarthy. The handoff. Cavaliers back and forth. The wind, the shot, and the score. Whew. What a snipe from Alex Klapperick.
In a game like this, you start with 1 goal, and that's what matters. Yeah.
I take that back. That was not Alex Klapperick. That was Hudson McCarthy. Or maybe I'd take that back too. Let me correct myself a second time. Jack Henry Roy. I saw a 3, and apparently I missed the other 3 because he wears 33. So Roy on the board.
We got Lucy Beckham with the win on the face-off.
His 35th goal of the season.
They're going to get failure to advance. I don't think he got it in the box yet. Maybe he has. I don't see the official counting. That may have been a long 10 seconds, but...
Couldn't quite make out what the chant was. Didn't really sound, let's go Cava? I mean, Cavaliers, but something. What a bouncing shot. Another one. Beats Ludkowski. Ryan McCarthy has himself a hattie.
Way to answer, Lucy Beckham being able to come back and answer that shot with a great bouncer about 12 yards out. And, that's been the MO of the game is these bounce shots. This is an all-state caliber goalie here, and he's struggling with these bouncers.
Ryan McCarthy, the all-region pick, with a hat trick in the state championship game. And the lead's back up to 4.
Lucy Beckham with the win.
Ground ball loose, secured by Connor Coombs. You are watching live coverage of the South Carolina High School League Lacrosse Championships on the NFHS Network. NFHSnetwork.com/SCHSL is your destination for the most comprehensive coverage of South Carolina high school playoff action.
Lucy Beckham had the face-off. They came out and in transition they lost it and got Christchurch. Christchurch got it and got it all the way back down to their side of the field. So we'll see if they can answer that last goal from Lucy Beckham and keep this a close game.
Here's Jake Good. He has 2 tonight. Kevin McCarthy, again, no relation to Ryan, but is the brother of Hudson. Hudson has a goal tonight for Christchurch. Now Kevin on the drive with space, shoots, and misses wide. Backed up. Camden Poole will restart for the Cavaliers. Now up top for Good once again. Jake Good with a step. Same shot, same result.
They're looking for that ISO to the right side of that goal. Last 2 times they take it down there.
Now here comes Hudson McCarthy. Absorbs a nice body check. Nico Focus with that long pole. Weaves his way through them all. Hudson McCarthy, how about it? Now a flag flies as he skies the shot.
Yeah, it looks like a simple slash.
Opportunity for Christ Church.
Yeah, I got 13 white with the slash. A 1 minute penalty. This is a huge man up at this point in the game. Less than 9 minutes. Down by 4.
Jack Henry Roy had the last goal. Hudson McCarthy winds and lets it fly.
Wow, what a mistake by Christ Church. There was no one to back up that shot, and the goalie got out there first on that far end, and now their ball. And a man down opportunity.
Ryan Weiss, savvy play, saw the opportunity. Couple of checks there from Roy, unfounded. Lucy Beckham by 4, approaching 8 minutes to go.
They're going to kill this penalty right here.
Ryan McCarthy, 3 goals tonight. Trying to get Lucy Beckham to the top of the mountain for the first time just in year 2. Guess what?
Yep.
Off the ground and in. Webb Perry has his seconds.
Yeah, I think from here on out, you're going to have to see Christ Church. Lucy Beckham might be pulling away because you're going to have to be a lot more aggressive if you're Christ Church. Coming 5 goals with 7 minutes and a low-scoring affair like this, they're going to have to change up their defense and be a lot more aggressive. Pushing out a lot farther, which might leave the goalie on one-on-one opportunities to make saves. Because time is not on their side anymore.
And now facing their largest deficit of the night. Another big face-off win by the Bengals. They have taken control of that tonight.
Would you say Lucy Beckham was ranked first in Max Prep?
Yep.
With a win over Wanda early in the season, it's hard to argue that if they pull this off.
To this point, perfect in state.
I was happy to see a no call on that. I think, he got a little push, but it's all part of the game. Nothing egregious. Just because you fall doesn't mean you're entitled to a penalty.
McCarthy denied access. Constable up top, the launch and the score. McLeod has 3 of his own.
They're feeling it. Lucy Beckham's feeling it. Timeout, Christ Church.
Cavaliers trying to get ready for their last stand, but Lucy Beckham, as you said, they're feeling it. They want the crown, and they're 6:25 away from it. Today's event is available to download. Just click the digital copy button, as I almost completely fell out of my seat here, under the event video player to download a digital copy of the event right to your computer. While Christ Church regathers, I'll try to do the same, and we'll have the conclusion for you when we come back on the NFHS Network. Final 6:25 of the final Lacrosse State Championship in South Carolina for this season. It's the Class 4A boys, and Lucy Beckham now in control at 10-4. Christchurch has to get a hurry-up going, and they do win a key face-off. Let's see if the Cavaliers can do something with it. On his way in, Hudson McCarthy, hands off, and instead of attacking, they go back out. Only so much longer they can do that.
Exactly. I mean, I thought that was a good opportunity to try to get a shot on goal, but they pull it out. They're going to run the offense and make sure they get it right.
Turnaround. I think that bounced off of a player near side.
It didn't go out of bounds, so.
Ground ball still loose in the corner.
Loose ball push is going to stay Christchurch.
And we talked a lot earlier about the Lucy Beckham coaching staff. Need to give a proper shout-out to Christchurch head coach Joe Cummings. This is his final game at the helm of the Cavaliers after 6 years. As Lucy Beckham briefly had a ground ball, now it's still loose. But Cummings is about to take the head coaching position at Memphis University School, prep school out there in West Tennessee, as McCarthy dishes it out. One on nobody. And there's a Cavaliers goal.
All you need is one. All you need is one. That's how it starts. Get the one, then move forward. They won that last face-off. Let's see if they can win this one.
McCummings, a 2012 Maryland grad, was a team captain for the Terrapins. All-ACC pick, honorable mention All-American. Was actually named Maryland's Male Athlete of the Year in his senior campaign. Eventually went on to go play in the MLL for 3 years. And that Be the Best slogan that has become a hallmark of the Terrapins program. He's been using it with this squad to the point that they were talking about it in the press conference the other day to some of his players.
Loose ball hold on Lucy Beckham. We're going Christchurch.
So coming out of that timeout, a face-off win, a goal, a forced turnover. Momentum now with the Cavaliers. Now another shot and a save, ending all of that by Ryan Weiss, who has been there time and again tonight when Lucy Beckham has needed him.
It was a good shot. I felt like he could have gotten a little bit closer.
Christchurch thought it was clean, and a very late whistle.
Oh, they got a trip, so they're going to call a trip. That's going to be a 1-minute penalty on Christchurch. And like I said, anytime there's a personal foul, it's a free clear, and that's why they're going to bring it across this side of the field. Sorry, I'm just counting how many players we got out there. I didn't see one of the players up top.
Under 5 to go, and a 5-goal advantage for the Bengals. Ryan McCarthy, top of the box. Certainly no rush for Beckham.
Oh, absolutely none. At this point, they could kill this whole this man-up advantage and just work it around, and it's a win. Less than 5 minutes and just killing a minute off the entire clock, yeah.
Looks like that's exactly what they're doing. Mm-hmm. High school sports fans never miss another game. Become a subscriber to the NFHS Network to watch live event coverage, game replays, and highlights from high school sporting events across the country. Millions of athletes, thousands of games, one destination, NFHSnetwork.com. We are high school.
Just like they didn't press on that man-up opportunity. Ooh.
That seemed excessive.
It was, but that was late. I'm just trying to see what it was. I'm not 100% positive. It looks like it's going to be a conduct foul on Christchurch, and all that is possession. Not positive, but Lucy Beckham had the ball after that, so I'm just not 100% what just happened, but we'll see once everybody comes onto the field. We'll see if somebody's in the penalty box or not. If it's
Well, the flag came out. That we know.
So it is going to stay Lucy Beckham's ball. So if there was a flag and they call a conduct foul, it should be a 30-second penalty on the end home for Christchurch. We'll just see if they put that in or not. And again, there's 30 seconds that all Christchurch has to do. Lucy Beckham has to do is just kill that 30 seconds before trying. And that looks like what's happened. It was a 30-second conduct foul on Christchurch, probably on the coaching staff. And it's going to be Lucy Beckham's ball. Man up again.
Just about closing time here for Lucy Beckham.
Yeah, I think Christchurch knows they're going to have to push out from here on out. Even being man down, they're going to have to be aggressive. And that's what you see. They're straight. They're pushing far out.
And how about that? They forced the miscue.
It sure did.
Now time to rev the gas. Watching it in and now hustling it forward is Carson Shaw. Zips it across. Penalty released on a cross. Fires.
And that's
scores.
what we want to see. That's what we want to see. That's if Christchurch can get the ball, they need to come down and push it.
Jack Henry Roy with his second goal of the night.
Once they got possession, that was 25 seconds for them to go down and score.
2:59 to go. By the way, Christchurch on the season has averaged 15.5 goals a game. Lucy Beckham has held them to 6. Here with 2:58 to go. Ground ball won temporarily.
No call yet. And Lucy Beckham. Is it going to stay in?
Barely.
But rolled it to a Christchurch player.
Ooh. My goodness. Christchurch with it, though.
There we go. This is what we want to see.
Joseph Mikesell.
They're going to have to push it. They got to move quickly. What happened? Offsides.
Oh, my goodness.
Christchurch offsides. The difficulty they've had in clearing the ball this game has been so poorly. Oh.
Aggressive look. Another cause turnover. Mikesell. Wow. And here we go.
Able to hold on to it.
High-octane lacrosse at the end because one team has to go for broke. Ground ball shoveled along. Who's got it? Hudson McCarthy. Are you kidding me? Scores! Wow.
Running through that many players. What a play. That's just somebody that wanted it more than the other. Now this is getting interesting. With under 2 minutes, if Lucy Beckham gets the ball, they have to keep it in the box. Since this is a close game, there's no way they're going to be able to just kill the clock, which allows Christchurch to be able to push out and not have to worry about them chasing all the way outside that box.
Christchurch fans are on their feet. The Lucy Beckham fans
everybody's
answer.
up. Yep.
Oh, my. 3 unanswered for the Cavaliers.
With about three and a half minutes after that penalty, I believe. Since they were man down, they've
face off. Secured by the Bengals.
remember they got to keep it in the box now, so they have 10 seconds to get it in the box, and if he comes out, so they're going to get it to X, and they're going to be very aggressive down there as the defenders. Because if the bad pass goes out, it's just like out of bounds, it's going to change the possession. Got him out. Got him out. Yep. Christchurch, pick it up.
Unbelievable.
Flag down. He never established 5 yards. The new rule, if you don't establish 5 yards, it's going to be a 30-second technical.
So this is a delayed penalty against Lucy Beckham. Hudson McCarthy, top of the box. Another flag behind the play. McCarthy just ripped to the ground by everybody in white. Uh-oh. Extracurriculars.
There's another. Okay. This is going to be a lot.
Absolute chaos.
Bear with me. There's going to be a lot. What I believe the first 2 initial ones is a delay of game, which is a 30-second on Lucy Beckham. The second one I thought would look like a cross-check on Lucy Beckham as well. So that's going to be a 1-minute penalty. It looks like we're going to have 2 unsportsmanlikes on both teams. So we're going to find out.
I was going to say, let's do the math. And it's like, just
there's
look at the box.
There's a lot of flags on the field right now.
Wow. Hudson McCarthy just got swallowed up by a pack of Bengals.
There's a lot of laundry on the field today. But they're all getting together, all 4 of them. There's 4 right there figured out. I believe it's going to stay Christchurch's ball and probably play 4-on-5 with a man-up advantage. Just from my perspective out here, I didn't see everything. I don't know everything, but we're about to find out.
Well, wouldn't this be something for Christchurch to go man up here, which certainly seems like will be the case.
Yep. They're going to have a person in the box, too. I just think I think Lucy Beckham is going to have 2 people in the box compared to Christchurch is going to have 1.
Lucy Beckham's last goal came at 6:25 to go.
And it looks like Lucy Beckham's going to have 3 guys in the box.
Oh, my goodness.
Because the delay of game, the cross-check, and the unsportsmanlike. And then Christchurch had unsportsmanlike. Delay of game. That's a 30-second penalty. Conduct. Slash is a 1-minute penalty. They've only reported 2 right now. You can only have 3 people in the penalty box. So if there's more, once that player leaves, you can put another player back into it. So they could have 4 if they really. I don't think they did, but. Unsportsmanlike, non-releasable. He didn't put up a finger, but I'm assuming it's a 1-minute non-releasable penalty. And I think there's going to be 1 on each of them. Could be wrong.
Right now there's a whole party going on in the Lucy Beckham penalty box.
Right. And like I said, I think 1 is just a delay of game or legal procedure, 30-second penalty because you didn't establish the 5 yards. Then there was a slash, which is a 1-minute releasable penalty. And then I think they got both teams with an unsportsmanlike for that push, a lot of pushing down there. So 5-on-3
for Christchurch here.
So what we're going to see, if Christchurch can score, 2 penalties will be released immediately. And then these 2 will finish serving out the full minute. So both teams are going to be man down until 12 seconds left in the game.
Here come the Cavaliers needing to cash in right now. 2-man up. Hudson McCarthy shoots. Saved!
That's a bad shot right there.
Ryan Weiss, a critical stop.
Yeah, that was great play by the and timeout Lucy Beckham. Don't get me wrong, that was a great save by the goalie. That was just that was a selfish shot, in my opinion. I think if you dumped it down to the guy that was on the crease and gave it much better closer to the goal. But not taking anything away from the goalie. Great save.
Right.
Great save.
Perhaps just a freshman mistake. McCarthy outstanding offensively, but that moment.
And I believe he's the one that's gotten them back into this game.
Yep.
He was the one that I think 2 of the last 3 goals possibly.
Won officially and was involved in the others for sure. Had that one chance. He was the one that drew all those penalties.
Trying to run through everybody.
Yep.
Reckless abandonment with his body. Just, I'm going to run through people. I'm going to get this ground ball for my team.
A reminder that today's game is also available for all subscribers on the NFHS Network Live mobile app for Apple and Android devices. Download the app from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store today to start watching live games wherever you are.
All right, Lucy Beckham has the ball, so they're with a minute left, so they could take 20 seconds alone trying to get it across midfield. So you got to be – they're still man down, so you should be able to double the ball all over the field. Take away the goalie, double the ball. You got to go all out if you're Christ Church. The fact that they're not hustling to get in position, no one should be left open for Lucy Beckham. The fact that, get on the goalie. 2 guys should be on the ball. Let that guy just heave the ball all the way downfield.
And heave it he will.
Yep. Just eating up 10 seconds right there is what it is.
Ledkowski being harassed. That ball's up for grabs. Swatted at, but not recovered. It's still loose. It's kicked. And
I don't know. It's Christ Church's ball?
Yes, it is.
Yep. I didn't see what the ref did. Sorry. I got a blind spot up here.
They need 3 goals in 37 seconds. Impossible? No. Improbable? Yes.
Go. Got to go.
Jack Henry Roy working his way in. Hands it off.
One more pass.
Up top. Now got to take a shot. They don't yet. Roy does. Scores. Top shelf.
Less than 10 seconds. Better late than never.
And Roy has a hat trick. As Christ Church is up to 8, they have scored 4 unanswered. But it may be too little too late. This is, in fact, reminiscent of what we talked about earlier with Nation Ford nearly blowing that huge halftime lead against J.L. Mann in the semifinals earlier this week.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Led 7-1, only ended up winning 8-7.
It's a huge face-off. If Lucy Beckham gets this and gets it to the offensive side, that's going to be pretty much game.
Where's the ball?
Ooh, ran into his own player. Moved the ball.
Christ Church has it.
Lucy Beckham pole ran into his own player.
20 seconds to go.
They gotta go.
Kevin McCarthy, Hudson McCarthy, down low, got a chance. He shoots.
Oh,
it's deflected back. 9 seconds now. Christ Church has to hurry. There's a trip, but it may not matter.
It's
4.5 seconds.
What a save.
Oh, my
I don't
word.
know if he saved it, bounced off or something, but that's going to be game. Regardless of what happened, what they report right here, it probably looks like a trip. It's going to be 1 minute, but there's less than 5 seconds left with 2 goals. They're just going through the routine and reporting these calls.
Timeout called by Joe Cummings to set up. I mean, at this point,
you're just trying to get one more goal.
Yeah. You have to lob it in, hope they score, and then hope for just some defiance of physics at the face-off X.
I just hope both coaches are telling their win or lose, you win or lose with class.
Amen.
And I know it's been a hard-fought game. Both these teams got very physical with each other. But this has been a great game, and I don't want any extra, shenanigans after this game to take away from it. So I hope these coaches are just say, hey, let's get this and get our trophy. I want to just give a shout out to both student sections for both these teams to coming over an hour and a half, 2 hour drive to come to Columbia. This many students is the most we've seen all day, and they were both heard today, and love a good student section.
And they were certainly treated. These two teams appearing in the state title game for the first time. They've seen a great one.
And we didn't have any idea what to expect from either of these two teams. So when we go off, I got to see Christ Church play earlier. I've heard about Lucy Beckham a lot, followed them, but we haven't seen them, neither of these teams, and the type. So we just went off the scores, what we've talked to with the coaches and from other fans.
McCarthy.
Saved.
It was saved. And Ryan Weiss takes Lucy Beckham in just its second year as a school to the top of Class 4A in South Carolina lacrosse. The Bengals are state champions.
Well, I want to give a special shout-out to is I think Christ Church came together. They're with their goalie. That was the only senior on the field today. They didn't come, they came up a little bit short, but that team, I think, is around, good support, and I like seeing that.
They love Nico. He's been talking about as the lone senior, feeling just that he wanted to extend his career one more day. The team was feeding off of that. I knew it was going to end today one way or the other. It ends in defeat, but it ends in a classic. Lucy Beckham coming over to salute the fans, give a little love to them. And David, you talked about it a few times. It's a clean sweep for the Low Country.
Mm-hmm. And just when you get certain coaches down there, a lot of people in plants want to move down to Charleston. It's a great county. And then just what they built down there started all with Wando, with the machine. They got a great rec program, great travel teams, and all these kids probably play together year-round. And when all of them are at that high of a level and they're playing against each other on a regular basis, it's hard for the rest of the state to compete. But like you said, clean sweep.
Lucy Beckham caps off a day in which both Wando boys and girls won state championships, and Bishop England kept its incredible streak rolling, 82 straight games won by the Battling Bishops and 6 straight titles for Lucy Beckham. Again, this is just their second year as a school. And they win the lacrosse crown, completing a season at 18-1. Perfect in the state. Their only loss to a team from New Jersey. And they have proven themselves, like we talked about with the ranks. They won at Wando. They are the best team in the state for the men this year.
Absolutely, Well, we try to compare, teams on who they played against each other to get a good feel on what type of game it's going to be, and that's one thing we noticed was that Lucy Beckham and Wando did play against each other, and in overtime, I believe, earlier in the season, they came out on top.
Meanwhile, for Christ Church, they'll finish the season 14-5, and what ended up happening, interestingly enough, continued what had been a trend, even though they snapped their 11-game winning streak. We told you that their last 4 wins had seen a combined margin of plus 60. Their last 2 losses coming into tonight by just 1 goal. Tonight it's by 2. They win big, they lose close, and they lost close tonight.
But they got a bright future.
Absolutely.
One senior, so we could easily see both these teams back here next year. And that's not even talking about the other teams that could easily be here. Bishop England won it last year. Flora was in this position. So 4A is a very competitive division. We could have 2 new teams, or we could have a repeat of what we have here tonight. Would love to see a rematch.
Absolutely. Again, Christ Church, if they do so, they'll do it under a new head coach as Joe Cummings heads off to Memphis. In his last 4 years with Christ Church, he saw them lose in the first round of the playoffs, the second round of the playoffs, the third round of the playoffs, and the fourth round of the playoffs. So maybe that means next year Christ Church is going to win this thing. But that's only a matter of trends. What I can tell you is for sure with the staff that Lucy Beckham has put in place under head coach Parker Farragon and the fact that they have 0 seniors, this is a powerhouse in the making, and it's going to be very interesting to see, even though different classes for the time being, Lucy Beckham and Wando, boys lacrosse in the Low Country. I cannot wait to watch that over the coming years.
Well, I think all the things we saw today, I think all 4 teams, all 8 teams had very talented and a lot of underclassmen. I don't remember any teams that we saw today had a heavy senior class.
That's a great point.
Nation Ford had 4 seniors, I believe. I don't remember the exact number for Wando, but Wando's its own, machine within itself. Bishop England just produces players left and right, so this really hasn't been a big issue for them. But 2 teams here today, 1 senior. Nation Ford, we know, had 4 seniors, and then Wando, just in the boys' game. I mean, we're talking about it could easily have been possible, less than 10 seniors on all today.
That's wild.
So we could easily see all these teams back, but we just got to see what the rest of the state does. Nation Ford won 4 games last year, made it to the state championship, and like you said, this team lost in the semis last year, so it's just all step in progress. So if it's not one team, it could be another. So.
We'll certainly be watching it statewide as programs try to take the next step, kind of like Nation Ford did this year, in terms of turning a tough season into a great one, and then taking the next step as schools like these have of getting further than they've ever been, and in Lucy Beckham's case, getting to the top of the mountain. The future is bright for this sport in this state, and regardless of who you may be a fan of, that may be the biggest takeaway of today.
Oh, 100%. And Lucy Beckham challenged themselves. They play a lot of outstate, but they had a lot of close games. Games. The 2 games before, they only won combined of 3 goals. And Bishop England was in the state finals last year. I think they beat them by 1 in the second round. And Oceanside, who won the state championship 2 or 3 years ago, they beat Lucy Beckham, beat them by 2 earlier this week. So they made it here. They know how to win in these close games, but at some point those close games come back to bite you. So we could hopefully have a rematch with this. We'd love to see it, but we could easily have 2 new teams here next year.
And that is why they played the game, as they say. So the first state championships of the season for the SCHSL are in the books. Stay tuned to NFHS Network as we'll bring you coverage over the next several weeks of more state championships across sports in this state. You heard from all the folks with the SCHSL how excited they are for what this spring can bring, and certainly if today was the kickoff, it was a worthy one. We have enjoyed this from top to bottom today. David, it's been a pleasure working with you. Can't wait to see what happens next for this sport in this state, and just keep the train riding forward.
Absolutely, Brad. I have to say it's been wonderful working with you, and your research skills is top notch, and it's been fun working with you today, and you taught me a lot.
Likewise. It
was fun.
I think we brought each other's different skills together and turned it into a pretty high-quality product.
Absolutely. So
certainly enjoyed that. So a shout-out to our regional coordinating producer, Stefan Lawler, for getting us all squared away for this one, to our fantastic producer, Victor E.C. Sola, for running everything at master control, if you will, right in front of us throughout the day, and to my broadcast partner, David Bates, this great crew here at Irmo High School that made everything happen today. I am Brett Williams saying so long from W.C. Hawkins Stadium, as Lucy Beckham is the new Class 4A boys state champion, joining Bishop England and both teams from Wando as new state champs here in 2022. So long for now. This has been a live presentation of South Carolina High School League Lacrosse on the NFHS Network.
Now to recognize the school dignitaries for the Lucy Beckham Bengals, the 2022 Class 4A state champion.